We talk about guns and we talk about marijuana. And I've stood before this podium on many occasions and told you that if you buy into the fact that marijuana and cannabis is a low-level, nonviolent crime, that you're just misinformed. You don't understand. And that's
Well, howdy, y'all. Unky T here. As Sheriff Grady says, all illicit drug sales and criminals should be chased down and arrested and taken off the streets because of the violence that is involved. And it's not so much the violence because of the drugs, it's because of the money. And, you know, in many states where they have legalized the marijuana there, they don't seem to have as much of this kind of crime as they do in states where it is illegal. So, simple answer, make it legal. I don't use the stuff. I never could. But I don't drink either. So, if y'all want to drink or smoke your marijuana, that's fine. You go ahead and do that. I don't care. I hope you enjoy it. But like I say, most of this stuff all revolves around money. And the government can get a good piece of it. Maybe take the rest of our taxes down. Who knows? Anyways, let's enjoy the story and see how it turns out, shall we?
And that's what happened to this case. Let me take you back. Mom and dad are at work, and 15-year-old son is at home. It's summertime. So he gets on Snapchat, and as we figured out as the investigation went on, apparently he contacted an 18-year-old female from Lakeland in an attempt to buy marijuana. So after some communication, this 15-year-old child was able to talk this 18-year-old girl and her 20-year-old boyfriend into driving from Lakeland to Lake Wells to sell him some marijuana. So they arrive on the scene in a small silver car we later learn is a Honda Accord, a 2003 model. The 15-year-old goes up to the passenger side door because it's the female he's negotiating with, and she has the marijuana. She hands him the marijuana, and he says, "I don't have any money," and he turns around to run. This is Bellamia Sperandio. She's 18. She's a white female. When she turns to run, 20-year-old Marshall Hayes starts shooting at the 15-year-old, shoots at him at least 3 times, striking him twice. Hits him in the hand, shoots him in the side, and the bullet through the side is lodged between his spinal column and the aorta of his heart. Deputies receive from the neighbors 911 calls of shots fired in the neighborhood. Upon arrival, we find our 15-year-old child, who's certainly made a terrible judgment in error by calling up someone to bring marijuana and then trying to rip it off, shot twice. We get emergency services help for him because he's got significant injuries. But this is a success story. This is the way things ought to be. The 15-year-old's mother tells us, "Deputies, you take care of the crime scene here. I'll deal with my son." The son is airlifted to the hospital. Mom says, "We're going to find out what this is all about." The 15-year-old initially told us a lot of different stories until Mom got involved. But when Mom does the right thing, or Mom and Dad do the right thing, the outcome is good. So Mom, the young man, the 15-year-old, is sedated overnight. The next morning, we are feverishly and have worked around the clock to try to find out who in the world shot this 15-year-old kid. Well, when Mom got involved in it, information started flowing. She worked with us cooperated with us 100%. The detective said the reason we solved this crime as quickly as we did and got the bad people in jail was because of Mom. We might have solved it, but we might not have if we'd met with what we are frequently met with was, I see nothing, I hear nothing, I say nothing, I don't cooperate. So our crime suppression team went to Bellamia Sperandio's house on South New York Avenue, where after repeated attempts to get her out of the house, she finally came out. She resisted us without violence. She didn't talk. She said, I'm from Philly, and I don't talk. I don't fold, it was her exact quote. I'm from Philly, and I don't fold. Well, that's all right. We folded her up and put her in a patrol car and took her to jail anyway. She told us a bunch of half-truths and pieces, but she never ever admitted what really happened. Well, we determined that the boyfriend, Marshall Hayes, it was his vehicle. And Marshall Hayes, after a lot of hard work with our detectives, finally said, yeah, I drove Bellamia over to sell the dope to the 15-year-old. And when he turned and ran, I shot and hit him. Well, I shot at him. He didn't know whether it hit him or not. They fled the scene, and then they threw the gun. We recovered the gun. We found the gun. So we've got the evidence, we've got the suspects. Bellamia, at only 18, still had a juvenile pickup order outstanding for her, and she's got all kinds of criminal history, resisting arrest with violence, battery on a law enforcement officer. She's only 18 years old. Marshall Hayes, who now is who is charged with attempted first-degree murder and is certainly going to prison for a very long time, as he should, has virtually no criminal history. But he hooked up with a bad girl. And then when the dope deal went bad she was involved in, he shot with the intent of stopping and killing the 15-year-old kid. So don't tell me marijuana is a low-level, nonviolent crime. But for the grace of God, that 15-year-old child would have been dead today. If it hadn't been for Mom, we would still be wondering who in the world shot up a 15-year-old child. Thank you, Mom. You set the example of what we have to have in order to keep a community safe. And I want to thank the rest of the community. We got multiple 911 calls. You know why? In this community, that don't work. You don't drive into a neighborhood in Polk County and start ripping off gunshots without the community calling us and letting us know. The good news is the 15-year-old has to undergo some more surgery, but he's going to make a full recovery. Tells me that God's got plans for him, because that bullet, which could have gone in his spine and killed him or paralyzed him, or into his aorta and he would have bled out, ended up in between the two of them. By all rights, he should be dead today, but he's not, and we thank the good Lord for that. And the bad girl who's from Philly needs to know something. There's no Philly steak in the county jail. And this dude needs to know something that all men need to learn in life. Some do, some never do. You hook up with the wrong woman and do what she says, you can end up in prison for the rest of your life. And it's almost that bad to be married to one for the rest of your life that's crazy like that, because even if you're not in jail, you're still in prison. All right? Any questions? Y'all have a good day. Talk to you later. Thank you very much.
Well, there you go, my friends. Another exciting adventure from Sheriff Grady Judd in Polk County. Now, I think he's 100% right. Community should stick together, because that's the way it used to be back in the day, where the community looked after each other, and it kept things pretty safe, and we didn't have much problems back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. You know, it all started changing when the liberal attitudes towards crime came out. But anyways, that's a different topic for a different day. I just wish y'all would like to, if you like this video, to subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified every time I put one out. And to check out my other videos. I have a lot of videos out there. Feel free to go in there and browse through them all. And, like I say, subscribe, ring the bell. Make a comment, if you will. If something tweaks your fancy and you want to say something, say it. I'd love to hear from you, and I'm sure all the other viewers would like to too. And don't forget to like that video. Put the thumb up on there. Small price to pay for admission, I say. Anyways, y'all have a blessed day. Take care of yourself. You take care of each other. And we'll see you soon. Bye for now.